Hi guys, I'm answering a question about the moral compass in the Wayfinder. Um, a clarification. So let's talk about how we go about wayfinding in given situations. What we typically um, do, or oftentimes we do, is so let's say we've got our person here, and we've got our goal. Okay, I want to get that job. I want to build a building. I want to get in a relationship. But how many of us have had the experience where, we get to a goal, and we're like, oh, well, we thought that was going to, make us happy, or I thought that was going to make us happy, or we thought that was going to be a good idea. We achieved what we set out to achieve, but it didn't actually get us what we wanted. And our idea, erroneous idea sometimes is, I'm going to plot this course out. This is what I'm after, and this is what the path looks like. Okay. And what'll happen is we'll run into some kind of an obstacle, and you come here, and the typical logic is, okay, you run into an obstacle, you got to figure out how to go around it or over it towards your goal. So you got to persevere, you got to do the right thing. Sometimes even if it hurts, you got to still do the right thing. Well, there are times when that sort of thinking, do the right thing even if it hurts, applies. Got to make a sacrifice. And there are other times when you've got to make a decision to cut your losses, and you don't know a lot of times which situation is which. So the moral compass wayfinder concept here is that says that this individual, okay, I'm a dynamic individual, and what I'm doing here is setting an intention, not, and this is just playing with language. I'm setting an intention, and I may be setting goals, but setting an intention is more powerful in a sense, because what's going to happen is I'm going to start to set out on this path, and it's not just a straight line. I'm in an environment. So I've got, let's say my personal health, and I've got, another social factor affecting something, and I've got contingencies, and I've got, well, if then, I need to get, this supplier has to show up with this information, or this, these goods before I can do my thing, and this guy he's got to be here, and I've got to be there, so typically, there are lots of, things going on that mean that your path doesn't ever look like that, So you've got, if we set within the individual, simple scale of like 1 to 10, and my happiness is in the 5 to 7 range. So I've got a certain point where I'm going to head into this dynamic universe. I'm dynamic, the goal is dynamic, and the environment is dynamic as well. I'm going to set a range of where I am healthy and happy. So as long as I stay in this range for the most part, I'm going to be able to head into this and go, okay, I need to go here, 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 on my way to this. Understanding that every time I make a choice and move towards, again, we're always moving away from pain and towards desire. So as I start to move with my wayfinder, I'm making choices. I'm making a choice here. I'm making a choice here. I'm making a choice here. And each time I make a choice, what my view towards this intention, this intended goal, is going to change and shift a little bit. It's so anybody that has been a part of a design process can tell you. So here we ended up, we're standing in front of a finished building. And, the architects will kind of giggle and laugh and say, there are elements of that final building that look like our original sketches, or back when we were in this part of the process of the design phase, we thought this, but then we got into the building part of it and it changed. And, does that mean that they should have persevered against all odds, or were they making dynamic choices on the way to the finished goal or intention? So that is much more like what decision making in the real world looks like, and what happens frequently, because it's not just me, not just this one little guy. We're on a team of people, and there are people here too, dynamic people, who are also looking at their dynamic situations, and we're going to go in here and we're going to engage, and every time we engage we're going to hit one of these things. So it is very important that we're able to go towards have this viewfinder where we can actually take a look at the situation, and the situation is moving like this. What we're going to find is that in a situation, that bikini bottom idea, what's at play in this particular move that we want to make, is that this is 20%. It's actually situation, it's only 20% on me. These factors are going to be whatever. They're going to have a certain weight of importance in terms of, positively moving us towards this intended outcome. And then what we're going to find is that, as we work on similar situations in social lab projects, and we make decisions and we track our results, what we're going to find is true north. We're going to find that in certain kind of situations, this truth and this truth and this truth, these become tried and true practices, start to serve trended ideas, trended practices, trended beliefs will start to serve as true north in certain kinds of situations that we'll be able to predict and make templates for, but understanding that always those things are happening within a dynamic universe. We have a collective intentional awareness. Just getting people to say we've got a collective intentional awareness and here are the factors that are at play, and being able to visualize that will help streamline, get us past, arguments, get us into much more creative territory, because we're all going to be able to see the same thing, and we'll start to show that trended. And I've got the tree drawing on the site already, that certain truths in certain situations apply again and again and again, whereas other things that we think we believe, is this a cut your losses situation or whatever, this is my life philosophy. Well, the life philosophy may not mean anything in a particular situation, or it may mean a lot if you're in the same kind of situations over and over again. So, thank you for the question. Happy to help.